Hello and welcome back. We've already reached the first half of the first season. Well, actually, we reached the middle of the season. Until now, we covered a nice anthology of all of the attack vectors, of many of the attack vectors that you will encounter in penetration tests, which I believe is a nice introduction to the subject matter that is quite delicate and not as heavy as reading up Wikipedia articles. So if you decide to rewatch the series from the start, you'll do so with greater awareness of what's being done at a very technical level. Also because the Mr. Robot series is, as we've seen until now, quite realistic, except for some minor details. And if you choose to attend my courses, available discounted until the end of the current month, the links are in the description, you'll see how easy it is to replicate the attacks, both locally and professionally, once you learn the techniques. In this episode, the focus shifts to social engineering. The penetration testing methodologies such as horizontal and vertical privilege escalation can also be applied in contexts where, instead of IT resources, we are dealing with human resources. The same applies to the attack surface and to attack vectors. Let's move on. Looks like Vera is faster than Gideon when it comes to jumping to correct conclusions. Well, he's in jail, he's got time to think. He understood that it was Elliot that sent the anonymous tip to the police department. Mr. Robot bumps against an employee and clones the RFID code from his badge. They clone the card, you can find them on Amazon, that is, card cloners, RFID cloners, I don't know how good this is. They use this supposedly fake program to write on the clone card. And so they infiltrate Steel Mountain. Social engineering is indeed the fastest method. They have little time available because remember that in a few days, Evil Corp will send the backup copies to 5 other locations, so they gotta move fast. Social engineering, Bill Harper, the first exploit. They have already done a series of searches about him, OSINT, open source intelligence, on social media that we'll see later. He will give them access to level 1, the perimeter security. When it's done well, it's concentric, as I've explained on my video on password security that I still have to upload in English. It's the same in large companies. The closer you get to the center, the more sensitive data the company will hold and the higher the security level. The more skilled the staff on matters of security will be, either physical or digital. If you have diamonds, you will not leave them under your doormat. This should be obvious, but you underestimate the number of differently intelligent people, differently smart, the different number of morons in the world. In fact, their target is a sales associate. They would have never dreamed of targeting a cybersecurity expert. The second target instead is Wendy, a customer service supervisor. Both are very accommodating roles in a company, unlike, say, engineers. The goal is to get a tour of the facility. Once inside, Elliot will have to connect the Raspberry Pi to the environmental control system, so they'll be able to finally raise the temperature in the room containing the tape backups. And mission accomplished. Here's Bill. Mobley created a Wikipedia page portraying Elliot, called Sam Sepiol, as a big shot, a billionaire tech bro. And now the tour should start. But no appointment and nothing. They're in a hurry because of the additional backup issue, right? No. Later this week, no can do. I don't even think you should look me up. Oh no. And when all seems lost, Bill finally looks him up online and finds Sam Sepiol, 25 years old, the new Zuckerberg. In the news, an IP address starting with 710. What? No, it's not an IP address. It's a numeric FQDN, I guess. Okay. It clicks on it, and it's n.wiki, which doesn't exist. I'm really confused. Mobley has contributed to Wikipedia so much that he can do pretty much what he wants with it, this time on n.pedia. Also, you can read there that he didn't log in. Okay. Installing a wiki locally on a server is very simple. And so, Bill changes his mind. Evil Corp could make a lot of money from such an investor. Looking for a place to plug in the Raspberry Pi. L1, data management, is in and at level 1, but needs to move to level 2, just like in privilege escalation. By touring level 1, he's gained higher privileges than when he was outside. By doing the tour, Elliot basically becomes a network scanner, exploring the attack surface. But he now needs to get rid of Bill, who at the moment is a firewall that doesn't allow him to keep scanning level 1, so to speak, metaphorically speaking. He manages to do so by leveraging a sense of loneliness. The goal was to escalate horizontally to Wendy, who has the same access level as Bill. Wendy's partner is about to give birth. They will send a fake text mentioning the unexpected immediate birth of her child to free up time for Elliot to install the Raspberry Pi. Find first a place where to plug it in and then install it. See, with social engineering, the techniques and methodology aren't that different, only instead of software, we're dealing with human nature, unfortunately. But instead of the account supervisor, somebody else arrives. Because in the meanwhile, the baby was actually born. This was a misstep on F Society's part, and this will not be the first misstep on F Society's part. Wow. So great working with a team. So great working with a team and being the best member of the team. Elliot goes for it anyways, but no dice. What now? They use the social engineering toolkit, also called SET. Well, that's the theme of the episode. To send her a spoofed SMS, a text message with her husband's number. They choose option number 7, SMS spoofing attack vector, which has long since been removed, and it's no longer available in the SET toolkit on Kali. There is, of course, other software on GitHub, but good luck testing them all until you find one that works. At that point, you might as well write it from scratch if you really need it for an engagement. I tried sending myself an anonymous SMS. This tool that I found allows you to send one anonymous SMS per day, but the service was shut down due to abuse. I recorded that video. Yeah, I launched the program. I entered the message, but it told me free SMS are disabled for the country due to abuse. So I took a quick glance at the code underneath, and it's basically an API call with curl to the textbelt.com website, which provides these kinds of services that are linked up with telephone companies. Just a curl post request. It's an API call to this website. In short, it's not free. They're like free public toilets. I mean, there was a free trial, but they're like free public toilets. They remain usable, but not for very long. TextBelt lets you send an anonymous SMS per day. At least it used to. I don't know if it's possible to change the sender ID, but certainly there are others with this feature online that will have to be used exactly the same way, that is with a curl post request. But getting back to the episode, they finally managed to get rid of her. Elliot tries to go up one level, but there's biometric authentication in place via palm scan to reach the second floor. So they need to find a back door, but a real physical one. Try the stairs, I guess. See how important reconnaissance is. Leslie is able to guide him in finding the most suitable attack vector. Lockpicks again, talked about this in a previous video, but they screw up again here. The door doesn't lead to the second level or floor, but to the parking lot. Dead end. It's like the frustration you feel when doing deer busting, and it seems like you found something, but not really. They're just a bunch of 301 status codes. Redirects. So Elliot turns back and meets Tyrell. They have lunch together, and Elliot is able to finally install the goddamn Raspberry Pi after moving to a fancier restaurant on the second level. Elliot exploits Tyrell's vulnerability, which is his ego. Mine is pistachios, from Sicily specifically. The ones from Iran aren't that bad either. Did you know that pistachios are being made in just 3 places in the world? It's California, Iran, and Sicily. They also take an ungodly amount of time to be produced. Something like 6 months. And they're freaking amazing. Love them. The executive lounge is on the second level. Vertical privilege escalation, baby. Nice. The staff here, as I mentioned at the start of the video, is less accommodating because it's closer to the heart of the beast. And so Elliot finally manages to install the damn Raspberry Pi in a bathroom. You should have used a couple of gloves. Ethernet cable, good job, Elliot. But what about the power supply? I guess through power over Ethernet, PoE. I imagine if it could power up a thermostat, it could also power the Raspberry Pi itself. Maybe some electrical engineer can add something in the comments. I'm saying this because Raspberry Pis don't have a power supply by themselves. You either need to put in a battery or connect it to anything that has power. But Tyrell enters the bathroom, startling Elliot. After a while, Elliot quickly fixes everything up, and that's the end of it. Airdream Software Incorporated. Keep this in mind. This will be important later on. The episode ends with the Dark Army not doing their part, and the whole plan blowing up in F Society's faces. Great. Darlene gets banned from their IRC channel, and we'll talk about it in a couple of videos about IRC. All in all, to get access to the network through a Raspberry Pi, but they feel like nothing really came out of it. But not really. They still have a rootkit within Steel Mountain. Not all is lost. Darlene is quite disappointed with it. Now, all it will take is for them to run the software that raises the temperature and destroy all of the backups in the facility. It's a Python script developed by Darlene. This is plausible. She accessed via SSH, a secure shell, to the public IP address of the network. Asymmetric backdoor, right? They hid the scripts in a series of subfolders. Naming one F Society certainly wasn't very smart. A Python file executed as a binary with /. Python scripts are usually run by typing Python and then giving the .py file as an argument. I suppose it works if you define it with a hashbang at the start of the file. I, of course, tried it out. And it works. See the hashbang there? Yep, it works. Yes, that's legitimate. Link to the bash course in the description. 40% off until the end of the month. I also have a Python course, but I still haven't translated it to English. Darlene is really disappointed, but now at least they have access to Evil Corp's network. So, in any case, not bad at all, I guess. And so the first half of the first season of Mr. Robot comes to a close. Tyrell keeps trying to climb his way up to CTO, and we'll see that he won't be able to. The Dark Army is in Allsafe's network, and Elliot is in top form. Very good. See you in the next video.